60 Minutes with Angela starts right now.
Listen to this. Quote, "I can boldly say that Asiwaju is strategically working for the Vice President, Professor Yemi OSINBAJO, judging by his moves. Without any iota of doubt, all of the meetings and consultations that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is presently doing will eventually be in favor of Professor Yemi OSINBAJO." End of quote. So says my guest today on the program, a former National Secretary of the Labour Party and coordinator of Progressive Lawyers for OSINBAJO. Kayode Ajulo joins me on the program today. So my introduction, I was quoting you there. You say that Asiwaju is strategically working for the Vice President, judging by his moves without any iota of doubt that all of the meetings and consultations will eventually be in favor of the Vice President. My question is, are they both playing Nigerians? Is this a game that they're playing?
Well, I won't say they are playing Nigerians. The only way I can put it is that I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking as a strategist, and I'm speaking as political strategy, in the sense that politics is like war. You have to strategize. There are sometimes some dummies has to be sent out. There are some intricacies. I won't say lies. I won't say fraud. But it has many other things, and whether you like it or not, there's no way you can divorce Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Yemi OSINBAJO. And like I told some people, his clout means so much. In any way, whether he decided to contest
or not,
it tells. It is body language. This is about politics. It is like speaking in parable, but it is not. To the initiated, they understand what I'm trying to say, and that is from that point I looked at it.
Yes.
And again, some of us, we have some privileged information.
Yes.
How it is. He has been going consulting. Like I said to some people, Asiwaju cannot deny ever knowing that some years back that Yemi OSINBAJO will contest this election.
Because I read you saying that Professor OSINBAJO actually did inform the former governor of Lagos State that he would be interested in.
Yes, I know. It is Rotimi Fashakin that made that day yesterday. That's what I want to say. Though from my private discussion with a lot of people, I would tell them that look, there's no way, because let us be sincere here. Once OSINBAJO has been sent to Abuja to become vice president, in the southwest, where which is primary constituency, he remained the #1 political leader there, irrespective of Asiwaju.
Yes.
And from that point, you will see that this man has been primed to be the next president.
Because that's the only next step.
The only next step. Nobody can deny that right. So many years back, during the Goodluck Jonathan, I propounded the doctrine of necessity. We have to get to the courts. The Federal High Court has already agreed with us to some point, and we have doctrine of necessity. And early this year, I said there is this doctrine of right refusal. He has that doctrine. In every modern democracy where everything works,
Yes.
Once the president, if he is to run for an election, once he indicates his interest that I'm going to run for this election,
Everybody else backs down.
with him. Now, our constitution makes it impossible for the president to run for election. And who else, even constitutionally, in the absence of the president, the next that takes over is the vice president. Now, for this election, except the vice president should come out to say, I've exercised our right of first refusal, I've refused.
Yes.
But as it is, this is someone that's come out to say, yeah, this is what I'm doing. And with that, I don't think anybody need to raise anything. And like I said, mind my words, Ajulo cannot say he's not aware that he's contested. And it's so clear. How and when, and that is another thing.
Yeah.
But like from what I'm seeing, we need to be sincere. And that is why I said it on Monday, immediately, not less than 5 minutes after the vice president has already declared his intention, which I called accepting our agitation that he should contest. I say, don't be surprised that Ajetunmobi will be the one that will take his hand and take him around the delegates. And we are waiting.
Political science students always say that if an incumbent is entitled to a second term and he hasn't exercised the right of first refusal, he's still interested. If his party doesn't back him, it tells a lot that maybe the party doesn't believe in him or trust him. So if he says he's interested in that seat, the party has to embrace that decision.
As at now, it is more like a dress rehearsal. It is more like anybody that has interest. As it is in Nigeria, anybody that can afford the
expression of interest
fee are picking form. And mind you, some of them are for different reasons. Some, or what they're after, is to ensure that they are considered for ministerial appointment. Because like what you may not know is when it comes to that, all those aspirants will come together. There will be some horse trading. There will be that support me. This is what I'm going to give you. Some may even be, I want to be an ambassador. Yeah. Some may I want to be a minister. Some may even be that I just want to be a board member of so and so. Some may even be that, please, after you've given me, you give me some waiver to get some of my goods into Nigeria. Because politics is about interest. Each one has one interest. It is so clear that all those speaking form, even half of them, are not serious in becoming the president. Even some ministers, you see Minister A, Minister B doing that. Maybe the essence of everything is to retain that seat. Some may even want to be, if you don't want me to contest this, please let me be a senator and just promise me that you ensure that I'll be a senator. So as it is, this is what is going on. It's a death rehearsal. And whatever I'm telling you, I'm speaking from experience. We have seen someone that want to contest for president that ended up being a party chairman. I've seen some that ended up being the ambassador. I've seen someone that ended up, even all he just wants is that please sign that I will never be prosecuted. Many people with different interests, with different ideas, with different agitation. But what matters most is, as far as APC is concerned, except the party is thinking something else, which I believe this is a party we all believe in, that talked of progressive, that talked of idea, that talked of equal opportunity, that are ready to make that change. The beginning of that change is with OSINBAJO.
Now, I want us to talk about the definition of a traitor or betrayer. I wrote this down. A person who betrays someone or something, it could be a cause, it could be a principle, or it could be a friend. One who betrays another's trust or is false to an obligation or duty. A traitor is a person who is not loyal. So I wanted your reaction, because a lot of the supporters of the former Lagos governor are calling the vice president a traitor and a betrayer. How do you react to that?
Well, let me quickly tell you this, and I'm sure it may shock you to tell you that from my own position and from my experience and privileged information I have, even the idea of who is a betrayer, who is a traitor, did not even come from those from the camp of the former governor of Lagos State. Right. That is one of the things. Those who are doing it, those who are posting the posters, we know them. You know, it is like it helps some people interest. it makes some people happy to see that the two gladiators are fighting. It is like by the time they start fighting, somebody will come and take the meat with their fighting. So a lot of people are finding the ember of that discord. From what I know, the beginning of that issue of traitor are those who don't even know what transpired between the two leaders. I'm being sincere.
Yes.
Those who are doing it are not even from the Southwest. I'm sincere about it. Those that went to Area 10 to procure printing press to start printing their posters, we know them. At the right time, we know what to be done. And that is why the issue of this traitor needs to be interrogated. Who betrays who? In what? In which trust? Are we going to say, yes, you are going to become the vice president, you will not contest?
The argument is, if your mentor says he's interested in something, you as the mentee, you are supposed to stand down your ambition to respect that of your mentor.
That is one of the things I mentioned, that we still need to know the sincerity of that declaration I want to contest, and who is being primed for that or not. That is another thing. I read it this morning that even there was a time that somebody told, I don't want to be mentioning them, told OSINBAJO, reminded that there was a time the Baba Obafemi Awolowo asked OSINBAJO to come and sit on his lap and make some pronouncement to say, by the grace of Almighty God, this man will become the president of this country. How true is that assertion is another thing. But it's so clear that once the day he became the vice president, it's so clear that the next step to be done is this. And let us ask our question, ourselves one question. Is there need for any fight here? When we are talking of public service to the people, I don't think that one should cause any problem. That's why I said, whosoever that is peddling, flying that kite of traitorship or whatever betrayal they want to see, it's either is oblivious of what is happening in the camp, or is oblivious of the truth thing, or just want to cause mischiefs. Because as it is, nothing like betrayal here, nothing like being disloyal here. Because what matters most here is you need to do what is right and just as you sit on this seat. And when the generality of the people should say, we want you to be the president, and being responsive you are, then you have to hear the call of the people. And that is what it is. And it is based on this, have in mind that the same voice of the people is what the Ajulo amendment at Tinubu we heed at the end of the day to say it to be OSINBAJO. I'm so sure of this.
You realize how serious this matter is, because you've also said, and I'm quoting you now, it will be unfortunate for the Southwest to blow this chance of a lifetime to further reposition Nigeria towards the path of progress. End of quote. So are you saying that the crisis between the vice president and the former Lagos State governor is that serious when we have other Yorubas who have declared and yet to declare for the race?
Well, you know, Yoruba language is something that is very dear to me. Anyway, I'm Yoruba, and I do say Ojulo mo onje to yonu. There's some things that is so clear. Ajulo Ahmed Tinubu and Yemi OSINBAJO are dear sons of Oduduwa. They are dear sons of the Southwest that you cannot flippantly set them aside. And it is not something that will be palatable, let me use the word, for to see whether real or unreal crisis happening between them. And that is why I made that statement, that there is a need for two of them to sit down, because I know at the end of the day, there will be a way for it to happen. But if there should be any crisis, I don't want to believe there's any real crisis than the one that is being invoked, the one that is being induced, or there is one that is being stimulated to sound as a crisis, because some people believe by the time these two people should run themselves down, they throw each other under the bus, then our own interest, people will listen to us.
Where do you stand on the question of the Southeast? Because a lot of people feel or felt that even though the presidential seat has been zoned to the South, it should be conceded to the people of the Southeast. And all the Yorubas are saying the Yoruba agenda, the Southwest agenda. Why not support the Igbo agenda for equity?
In a situation where you have to struggle for things, it will bring out the best in you. Then you can bring out your best to achieve what you need to do. And this is the way I will explain the question you asked me. Yes, for equity, if you know me, I talked about egalitarian society.
Yes.
I even had an NGO that propagates egalitarianism idea, in which there must be equality, in which there must be justice. Even my doctoral thesis is on social justice. But social justice must come with some level of agitation and seriousness from those who seek social justice. Even human rights, right itself, is not given a la carte. You must stand up. You must go and pick it. But as it is, if from the Southeast are saying they want the APC to give them the presidency, you need to ask, how many members are in APC? Today you can see demography of the delegate. The lowest is either Southeast.
Yes.
How many of them? If there must be votes, how many can we say? It is like working in Julius Berger, working in Dantata and Sawa, and said Julius Berger should pay you. It's like you're working in Chevron and saying Mobi should pay you. There must be some strategic move by those in the Southeast
to reach out across the aisle,
to know how to do it. But to say, oh, we want to sit down, we don't want to have anything to do with the APC, but election is coming tomorrow to pick the presidential candidate, and you say, no, it must be given to us.
Yes.
Power is not given. Now we are talking of power. The real power, it is not given. Just sitting down on the armchair and just open your mouth and you want somebody to drop the water in your mouth. It is not done. You have to stand up. You have to go and grab it. I think that is what the Southeast need to do.
Get up and grab it. All right. Join us after the break. So now to one of the issues that really bothers me, the matter of always Ogun State. Every time it's the Southwest, it's a person of Ogun State origin. In 1999, the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, he was from Ogun State. Professor Yemi Osinbajo is also from Ogun State as a vice president. Now, it looks to me like of all the 6 states that make up the Southwest geopolitical zone, Ogun State seems to have the upper hand. The other states are feeling just a little bit marginalized. Why not let other Southwest states come into this race? For instance, the current governor of Ekiti State, Kayode Ajulo, is also throwing his hat into the ring. Why can't we see someone else from another state, just not Ogun State?
But I think we should understand one thing that we're talking of the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria. We're not talking of the president of Southwest. From the Southwest, if you know us very well, one of the things that matters most is merit. The Yoruba are egalitarian. Yoruba look at what is possible and what it is. If he merited it, let it. I think that is what matters. Yoruba, if you notice, being an Olomoluabi itself is to look for that core value. Once it is exhibited, nobody wants to think of where you're coming from.
Yes.
And I think that is what it is. Any Yoruba man, irrespective of where you're coming from, it is not the issue.
Because
and
there's only one Yoruba race.
There's one Yoruba race, and there's the Indidis here. The only qualification is Omoluabi. Once you are, I think you don't have any problem.
All right. You say that your position on the 2023 presidency is simple and clear. Professor Yemi Osinbajo is the best option for the All Progressives Congress and for Nigeria. How did you come to that conclusion?
What matters most, and these are the things I look, even let me start with like my office, we're in my law firm. first thing I considered for you to work, to be my associates and to be my colleagues, that we should work in the chamber, is your pedigree. Pedigree matter. Where are you coming from? And I say something that when we talk of greatness, Shakespeare said it. He used three indices. And these three indices, Professor Yemi OSINBAJO ticked it without any stress.
And they are?
First, is that you are born into greatness, or you achieve greatness, or you have greatness tossed upon you. When we talk of born into greatness, that is pedigree. His pedigree speaks for himself. In whatsoever name you can call it. The late stage for Yemi OSINBAJO to be admitted to the home of Chief Obafemi Awolowo. Apart from the home, we are talking of political and any other whatever that it is, accepted to be a son, a grandson of Obafemi Awolowo. That one ticket, we are not even talking of what about his own parents. For you to be on that one stand. And again, you check his pedigree. From Corona to Igbobi to University of Lagos and the London School of Economics. Everything with distinction. Born into greatness. Now, achieving greatness. I know what it is for you to be a professor of law of a university and not a backwater university. University of Lagos. I know a lot of my friends that today, they just want to be a professor because of what you have to pass through. They are still, some of them readers, some of the associate professor, they will tell you where they are still being considered. I'm talking in some states, in some schools, you can come today and they give you a professor. Now, professor of law, University of Lagos, it means so much. That is, you achieve greatness. I know what it takes to rise above rank, to be so conferred with the position of senior advocate of Nigeria. I know what it is. I know even as I sit with you, I'm even here to be a senior advocate of Nigeria. And I know some people say, oh, you're a great man. We even laugh and say, these people don't know what it is. I know what it is. Like I said, I dare anybody. Give me any other aspirant. Place them side by side and come tell me who will I pick. And like must say this, the few times you can see that he find himself sitting as a acting president. It's as if there is a peace in this country when now Yemi OSINBAJO, whenever he is acting as president.
A lot of people thought he was a reluctant candidate. You know, before his declaration, you had described it as an unpopular speculation that Professor Yemi OSINBAJO may not contest in 2023. Did he not seem reluctant to? In fact, everyone was attacking Senator Babafemi Ojudu, saying that he's the one trying to force the vice president to contest.
No, let me tell you, politics has its own initiatives. the initiates of that political group, they are aware of what will be. And that is why some of us can come out fully with all those attacks, like you said it for Babafemi Ojudu. Is that it's been planned. Not that he didn't come out as a stand. That's why I say he's been primed for this job. I know what I'm talking about. You can see, you need to see the way principal and their vice, how they've been relating. In everything, there are those that knows, there are those that may not know. And there's no that even that will know that still believe it won't happen. I remember the day he made somebody call me, a treasury ruler. Kayode, are you sure our man has declared? Is it true? I said, but my lord, my captain, are you not watching? He said, it's true. He shouted. It is always like that. And if you remember, immediately he did that. Attacks started coming from left and right. The prayer has been, it will never be. No politician what is sought in Nigeria, including Ajetunmobi TINUBU, that will say they are unaware. They are, but the idea is, praise. Some people are just in self-denial that it wouldn't happen. Now it has happened. The next thing is to let's try sending mud, get mercenary to be attacking his personality. It's politics. So to us, we know what it is, and at the end of the day, Nigeria will know what it is. This time around, Nigeria is being offered the best.
The All Progressives Congress will hold its primaries May 30, 31 for the presidential race, and for the governorship May 23. So I want us to talk about the process, because you had talked about how it was dangerous for the convention, for the people who emerged as the executives during the convention to emerge via consensus. So I want you to tell us, what does the APC constitution recommend in terms of the primaries? Is it 3 ways? Do you have direct primaries, indirect primaries, and consensus? Are those the 3 ways by which the presidential candidate will emerge?
Yes, certainly by the Electoral Act. What the Electoral Act stipulates is in 3 ways. But for me, after interrogating it, it's still just 2 ways. Here we talk of direct election, indirect, and consensus. And what is consensus? There's nothing like consensus, because that is why I quickly raised that alarm, that irrespective of the fact that you agree that there should be a consensus, there will still be the need for voice voting
at the end of the day.
So at the end of the day, what is being called consensus is more or less an indirect election, in a way that irrespective of the fact that even if it has to be only you are the only candidate, there is still the need. We can't say because you are only candidate, okay, yes, candidate Angela is now our only candidate here, okay, tick his name, Angela is here, he is hereby declared as the winner of the. No, there will still be need to now say now as it is that Angela is our only candidate. What do you think about it? Those that accept, you say a. Those that say yeah, you say nay. You can see that.
So there will still be a voice
voting, and that is what I try to pass the message I send across to the leadership party, that don't be carried away with this convention. There is a way there's still procedure you have to follow, and you can see on the live TV how they went about their conduct of that election. What makes this electoral act different from what we have before is that anybody can go to court and anybody can have locals on when it comes to issue of election. But as of now, the 2 ways to conduct election is either direct or indirect. What we call primary or what we call consensus, at the end of the day, we end up to be indirect election, because there must be a voice voting. And how do you vote in an election is in 6 ways. But the one that is so well used in practice in Nigeria is either voice voting or balloting. So, and that is the way it has to be, and I believe that is the way we know. But from the whole thing, and the way, the popularity, and from the feeler I'm getting from the governors, from the senators, from other delegates, it's so clear that Yemi OSINBAJO is coasting home to victory. And at the end of the day, you may have nobody even contesting against him.
The reason I ask that question is, if reading opinions across board, it is alleged that OSINBAJO'S camp is relying on being the consensus candidate, and they're wary of going into the direct primaries or indirect.
Let us be sincere here. OSINBAJO is not that they are wary of going to consensus candidate. In every agreement, in every association, in any political consideration and meetings, one thing is so clear, that is through convention, not every law, everything is law. If you should come here now, if you are older than me, even as a lady, I have to stand up from my seat to greet you. I can't be on my seat and you straight hands to me as because I want to be a gentleman. I will get to no law that asks me that once you enter my office I must get up for you. But because it's a convention, it's one thing I've been practicing. In party politics, particularly when it comes to party convention, it's clear that when such person as Yemi OSINBAJO, vice president of the republic, particularly where the president is not seeking for any re-election, every other candidate must defer to him. That one is so clear. At the right time, this will be tested, this will be discussed, and this will be interrogated, that we will get a fruition. So with that alone, I think right of first refusal, even ordinary tenant has the right of first refusal. For you to sell your house, you need to tell your tenant that I'm selling this house. What do you think about it? If the tenant say yes, I want to buy it, let me pay. Yes, you wouldn't. Maybe the only reason you may not sell it to him that maybe what he's offering is not what
you don't agree on price.
If you don't agree on, but if you agree, if what the other person coming is what he's offering, you have to give it to him. That is ordinary tenancy agreement, not to talk of an institution. We're talking. No, I think we need to know the office. Vice President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, somebody that has the experience, who among those contesting, including Ajulo Ajetunmobi, can say he has the experience that he
being
has.
a vice president.
Now, 7 years. Let me tell you one thing. I got married in 2004. He was a governor then. I had my first daughter, and in that year. Then, as at 1999, when he was a governor, I was an undergraduate. Today, my daughter that I did the wedding when he was a governor is now a graduate. How do I want to explain to her? I think you understand what I'm trying to say. For over 15 years, and not that he has done any other thing. And we are talking of governance. And we are talking, let me tell you something, Angela. If you are going to Lagos today, we are flying the plane. And the pilot, you know the pilot, and you know that this pilot, the last time he flew this plane is 15 years ago. And you have another pilot who has been co-pilot for someone that has been flying back and forth for 7 years without any hitches. If they ask you, who did you want to fly you to Lagos? Tell me, who will you pick? This is somebody that will now come and be testing. See, bring Abedi Pele to come and play World Cup now. He will fumble because he has, irrespective of what he has played for years. Bring Abedi Pele. I wish Rashidi Yekini is alive the way he has been playing all those times. Bring him before Messi. Messi with Dustin, we make him to play Ludo or whatever we call it in our parlance. You know, this is so clear. Now, I need someone to debunk this allegation that Yemi Oshiba is the most experienced among all of them in whatever ramification. Since even when you look at it, yes, he has been in public service. Many people will tell you, at least I've been meeting Ajulo Ajetunmobi since 1991 when he was a senator with Madam Kufo Bokno. That's 1991. That's the first time we ever have anything, and just to even say how are you today, that's about 30 years ago. That's 1990. That is the first time he finds himself in public service. OSINBAJO has been there since 80s. Since 80s. The records are there. I'm not conjuring. I'm not trying to do any permission. No, let's be real. It may sound funny, but you know, the Almighty God has a way of running the affairs of men in a miraculous way. This is another miracle, and it's for us to grab it and to ensure that we get the Nigerians of our dream.
Join us again after the break. Now let's talk about the Honorable Minister of Transport, your call on him to resign after that attack on the Kaduna-bound train. Is that a tactic or a ploy to strategically get rid of one of those aspirants that people are saying is very strong and will give your candidate a run for his money?
I think those that know me, and I believe you know me to a point.
Yeah.
Apart from being a lawyer, I have an NGO, civil society organization, which is egalitarian mission. What the core mandate of egalitarian mission is to ensure good governance. And honestly, I'm being sincere, as at the time of when egalitarian mission is making that statement, we sat and discussed extensively, and basically on one point, on the position of the minister himself that came out publicly, live TV, to say, yes, I'm aware this will happen. I've asked for this, it has not been paid. is a self-indictment, and I can see from that point it is like making a voluntary confession to that crime, because the negligence of whosoever that handles that train going to Kaduna.
You don't see it as a sign of frustration, because if he has been asking for 3 years for that surveillance equipment to be bought and the approval had not come even up to the day of that explosion, that attack on the train, perhaps he was voicing that to the public for us to know.
Frustration sometimes is like dying declaration. There are some things that there are some evidence that the court will always hold there and act upon. Dying declaration. So if I will see that as more like dying declaration, because if he said he's being frustrated, but the truth of the matter, he's speaking his mind, he's saying it as it is, and from there we've been able to make some inferences that, look, you are aware that there is danger. As the advisor of the president and minister on transportation, what ought to be done is to ensure that there's no commercial operation going on with that train, pending what you ask for, if that is what it is. Because it is this, I know that this car that I'm asking you to drive to your house has no brake, and I still allow you, and on the way something happened, and I say, yes, I know this car, I know there's no brake, I've asked that they did brake, we should buy a new brake. Is that what you need to say? What he ought to done first is to resign first, before anything, and not talk of prosecution. I'm serious, and I'm not missing my word by saying that statement. I know you may ask me, what about others? Others has not come to say anything. He's the only one that makes that come to me. I see that as compassion. He's the only one that confessed that, yes, I'm culpable in this. This is what ought to happen. I know I would not done it. That is grand. That's gory. That is to me what shouldn't have been. And in bright climb, what ought to be done is for him to be writing some statements, to ask. So you are aware. What did you do? I know it is only in Nigeria anything can happen. You know that there's a danger, and you still allow the plane to the train to take over. We don't even know the number. Some will say 900, and some will say 300, some will say 500, and you allow them to go, and now it's happened. Some people, do you know that some people are still in captivity now? I lost a very dear friend, the Secretary General of the TUC, who's late. And you are saying that his children, his family, his friend, they are watching, say, oh, so this man wouldn't have died if this thing has happened. Do you know the trauma? Do you know what you want to put them to? And you are still saying that, and the next day you are saying you are declaring. It sounds, look, let's be sincere. This is what that statement bereft of any. As at that time, he has not even declared it done. Is this what I see as Yahoo declaration?
Why are you calling it a Yahoo declaration? And I want to mention this. We all know that the relationship between the Honorable Minister of Transport, Amechi, and the current governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, is fractured at best. And I'm looking at it now from the outside. If he had come out to say, I need the stadium, the Amesemaka Stadium, for my declaration, you don't think Governor Wike would have locked the gates of that stadium?
I don't think. But that's not it. Even if he locked it, let me tell you something. No army can stop any idea whose time has come. If he must declare, and he knows I enjoy the confidence and the support of the people, he can even do it in front of the government house without any problem. It depends on the numbers and the people that join you. You need not take recourse to deceit and fraud because you want to declare. I received the IV. The IV wrote Thanksgiving and national prayer that we should come. Had they made I really wanted to attend, I'll be there. And imagine my embarrassment that after everybody is sitting there, somebody entered the hall, entered the stadium, and started running around the hall and said, I declare for president. Is that the way it is being declared? You can see what OSINBAJO did. He believed that I need to pass this message across to everybody, nook and cranny of this country. If we use the national stadium, it will not even contain the number of people that will come for his declaration.
You don't see that running as a sign of physical fitness?
No. It's just been rhetoric and trying to be funny about. Anyway, it may be, but what we are saying is that we need not lose that sight. You invited people for Thanksgiving and national prayer of your party.
Yes.
Even from what I even learned that the national chairman of the party was even in Port Harcourt that day, and some leaders of the party, they were there until when they were told this will happen, they quickly ran back to their hotel room. I even read somewhere, whether it's true or not, that the former chairman of the party, Adam Oshiomhole, has to recount to say he was deceived to go into the
because he was there.
You can imagine the fraud, and you want to become the president. If the first thing you are doing, the first step you are taking, you are putting on the wrong step forward, and you are lying, and you are doing through by inducement, which to me, that's why I call it Yahoo, because you need to check section 419 of our criminal act, what it means. Once you make false impression, you lie, false pretense to achieve what, and that is exactly what it is. It's Yahoo. There's no other way you can call it. And you can see what happened yesterday. To me, embarrassing the national chairman again, visiting him and taking some picture of Ghana must go, and some people are saying that one there is money in that bag. I don't want to believe that the national chairman will be that too inexperienced to sit with him with the bags of money behind. But you can see what they've turned the national chairman to somewhat national to laughing stock that he's sitting between the Ghana must go brought by Amechi. I want to believe that some people just want to embarrass the national chairman. So these are not the way to play politics. These are not the way, and I believe it's not until when you should go to stadium to make declaration. OSINBAJO make this declaration, the voice was heard all over the world. I watched when Yahya Bello was making his declaration. You can see all the youth, as he was talking, everybody were dancing, singing. The deputy governor kept saying, sit down, sit down. I'm very sure, if you ask most of those you there, can you tell me just one thing you had the governor Yahya Bello saying? They will tell you they can't hear. That is why the vice president believed that I will just make a very simple, solemn declaration, and it was heard all over the nation, out of the country, even all over the world. That is the best way. You don't need to lie. You don't need to perpetrate fraud. If fraud can be used to induce people to come for your declaration, then tell me what will happen when you become president. And these are the things Nigeria need to be interrogating. But unfortunately, we see it as something else. And tomorrow you said government is bad, government is full of criminals. And when the criminals are even raising their heart to say, look, this, I am here, I'm the criminal. I think these are the things that we need to really get right.
I'm happy you've mentioned the Kogi State governor now, Yahya Bello. If the APC has zoned that presidential seat to the south, why is Governor Yahya Bello contesting? Will the party sell forms to somebody who is not from the south?
Have you not, with all this noise, did you see anybody that attack Yahya Bello? Did you see anybody talking about him? Because they know the intention. We know the intention, so we know, you can see nobody's losing.
Is he one of those, you think he falls under one of those you are calling those who will do the horse trading?
I want to believe that. I want to believe that. I want to believe that. I remember when we talk, I wish him luck, and what I just told him, I said, made the right.
Yes.
And he just carried the day. And I know who's right and just in this game.
What is the strategy going forward now? You know, is it important that the vice president gets the endorsement of the president?
Well, let me quickly tell you this. Only, you know, in strategy,
yes.
only I don't know the way I can call it. Only a fool, a general that don't even understand his commission, that will make his strategy public. But like I told someone this morning, I said, look, OSINBAJO camp, we've adopted the motto of our Nigerian army, that victory comes from God. And here we have the people with us, and we have his grace. Everything will work well.
Those who criticized his declaration, saying that, you know, a lot of Nigerians feel that they are suffering now under this Buhari administration. And so when he comes out to say, I will continue from where this administration stopped, people see it as a continuation of suffering.
What I know, unfortunately, in Nigeria, we don't read. I think we should have tried to pick out the policy of government.
Yes.
Look at the manifesto. I put it to you, and I want anybody to take me on this. That seeing that manifesto, see what the lofty idea that the government of Muhammadu Buhari has.
Yes.
If you see someone that can aggressively and effectively implement it, it shall be well with Nigeria, and that's what he's trying to say. He's not saying that we continue the suffering. And let me be sincere. Nobody would like to impose suffering on anybody. The idea, what matters most is there's no way government is continuing, and that's what he's saying. I will continue. Government is continuing. Even let me be sincere. Don't forget that the governor of Central Bank of Nigeria and others, so numerous to mention, are from President Goodluck Jonathan. Still, they're still in continuum. Government is in continuum. What matters most is what you are going to do. What matters most is leadership. Leadership, effective one, something that will say things and to say this how to do it. And that is what happened. When I enjoy reading British history, that's their monarchy. By the time you see the time of the Henry VII, don't forget that it's King Henry VII is the father of the King Henry VIII.
Yes.
We know what King Henry VIII have done. And are you not surprised that, oh, but this man is the son of the other one that left? It's everyone comes with their attitude, with the attitude and attitude, and they come with their own styles. And the same way, if you remember, we have a king in England that even abdicated.
Yes.
And when his brother took over, you can see what happened. And we have the Victoria, who we can say is the mother of the empire, is the mother of the empire. That during his time we have the whole empire, and at the same time we have one that even all the empires started crumbling. So what matters was that every leaders come with their own style. This man has been there for the past 7 years, has studied it, understudied it. He's like an apprentice, and from being an apprentice, has been tested once, twice, thrice to see what it is. And through all those times, you can see what has happened, and nobody can fault him. All those times, he became the acting president. Why can't we? We have seen what his signature. Why don't you allow him to fully endorse it on Nigeria for some time and see what it is? So that's what it is. So if he can say yes, I will continue. You can't tell him that I will never. Even if you say that, I will be one of those that will say, no, sir, you are lying on that. There must be continuing. But it's the style and pattern that matter. The aggressiveness, the effectiveness to run a program, that's what matters.
One of the things people are hoping to see from a presidency of OSINBAJO is the matter of restructuring laid to rest. This current president, Muhammadu Buhari, had tried using executive orders, executive order number 10 of 2020, granting, for instance, financial autonomy to the legislature and the judiciary, in spite of the good intentions behind that. The courts were right in interpreting that it was a constitutional amendment that would drive a restructuring. So you know the Latin maxim, ex nihilo nihil fit. So we know that we can't put anything on nothing. So where does Vice President OSINBAJO stand on the matter of restructuring? Being a lawyer, a law professor, are we going to see now the APC pushing for constitutional amendments that will enable restructuring to happen?
Well, let me quickly tell you this. If we are going to discuss what OSINBAJO stands for and what Nigeria are going to gain from his presidency, we're not going to leave here. But let me just quickly give you something like a snippet, like a hint.
Yes.
I think recently I've tried as much as possible to read most of his addresses. One thing that you cannot take away from his addresses are two things: social justice and rule of law. And I think you need to start by trying to look at his insights on state policing. I'm not going to say it here, but then you now understand, and you need to look at his insight on restructuring, on the relationship between the states and the federal government.
Yes.
Even on answers, before the answers, there is some recommendation that the vice president, as acting president, raised and even directed the inspector general of police, if you remember that time,
yes,
to address before the issue of answers. I may not want to say that because, you know, now this is a game of politicking, it will be twisted, but you need to read most of his address, then you can have the idea of how his presidency is going to be like. But like I said, two things that I'm so sure of with presidency, or OSINBAJO presidency: social justice will be issue of premium, issue of that's very imperative to be done in the country. Then what do you expect from professor of law now to talk of rule of law? These two, at least, is something I can bet even my birth certificate on.
There's a lot of rancor, though, between the supporters of OSINBAJO and the supporters of Tinubu. It's looking as if they are opposition, not even within the same party.
Let me tell you something. I'm supporters of OSINBAJO today. I don't think I will have any rancor with Ajetunmobi. Any supporters of any supporter of any of these two leaders that seem to have any rancor, I think I will doubt the credibility.
On social media, they're going at it.
I know that I would like to doubt their credibility of being a supporter. Let me tell you something. Yesterday we were discussing somewhere, and some people were fighting, abusing Tinubu, some were abusing OSINBAJO. And I quickly say something. Everybody kept quiet. I said, look, on this platform, Tinubu, that's the son of Ajetunmobi, is with us on this platform. Have you ever seen him even saying anything about you abusing OSINBAJO or not? And now you are taking Panadol more than somebody's having headache, you are taking Panadol for that. If the son, OSINBAJO has sons, Ajetunmobi, they have the same thing.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen two of them fighting? But those that seem not to know anything, pretenders, social climbers that believe, oh, I'm their supporter, I want to fight somewhere. Even there, some people will say they want to break bottle and co. For what? That is what we say. Anybody, any of the possible see themselves fighting, I think there is a credibility of that. They are claim that they are supporter, and I think that is what it is.
What if Professor OSINBAJO is not the candidate of the All Progressives Congress on May 30 and 31? At the end of the primaries, he does not emerge as the candidate. What happens?
The first thing, my first reaction, God forbid, because from what I know,
Yes,
will certainly be the candidate of the APC. And if no, I don't think one need to nothing to discuss that. It can be.
it's not a matter of if.
It's not a matter of it. I think we should be talking about when it becomes. What will happen? What will happen? But if you said that what it is either identify. I will not go to farm because I have no farm. I'm a lawyer. I've been doing this. Either to identify any candidate which will not be in the PDP, or I may even present myself as a presidential candidate, because there is the ideas, and I believe there's some things that need to be done. I don't think there's anything wrong. The friends are there, the supporters are there. You present yourself, but I don't think it will happen. I don't think it will happen, because this is not something that is done overnight. This is a plan of over 3 years, and I believe with God.
So when you say over 3 years, those who are pointing to the fact that he moved his membership of the APC from Lagos State to Ogun State, and saying that this betrayal had been in the works for a long time.
No, it can be. When I mention over 3 years, I'm not talking of OSINBAJO, I'm talking of the group. I belong to nothing less than 6 different groups.
All agitating for
All
him.
agitating for OSINBAJO. There is a progressive professionals for OSINBAJO. There's progressive lawyers for OSINBAJO. There's next level. We have OSINBAJO grassroots support. We have PYO. We have everything. But I'm just talking for the past 3 years. We've been sitting, checking, and whatever it is, and that is different entirely from OSINBAJO.
Oh,
Now, to the question you raised,
yes.
one thing that is so clear is that democracy itself is choice. I can be, if you remembered, my first foray into politics, national politics in Nigeria, is to contest as a Senate in Abuja, whereas I'm from Ondo State.
Right.
I moved my registration, voter registration, everything to Abuja. And being a resident of Abuja, and I carry my business here, I was able to do that. And nothing stopped me tomorrow. Just let me go home. And what matters most is that you plan. And here, somebody exercising that right of choice. I don't think there's anything there. And as at the time when he did it, it was the pomp and pageantry. All the state leaders were there, including the state governor of Ogun State, that is President Ajetunmobi. But today some people say he's surreptitiously hide.
Yes.
It wasn't. It was a national issue. It was a public issue.
What is the significance of moving from where he was registered, I think, Etiosa local government?
Freedom. Significance there is freedom. Exercise freedom. Freedom of choice. Freedom. Nothing. That is demonstration of freedom that, look, I'm accepted anywhere. I'm from the Kenya, yes, I'm back home. And mind you, do you know the agitation? Do you know what it is? Do you know that as I sit here, do you know the number of people that call me every day? Come home, come home, come on. I mean, I'm not saying that, but you know, when you're a leader, you are not yourself again. You don't own you. You don't own. You don't own yourself. Only except you are not a leader, and that is one of my fortification. That at the end of the day, Ajetunmobi, we go with OSINBAJO, because by the time we see, look, he has an intelligent report that say, no, this is what my people want. I remembered one of my leaders told me when he was talking to him about Ambode, why don't let us have this man do the second time? He said, well, this is what the people of Lagos want. By the time we realize that this is what Nigeria want, you will see him raising the hands of Professor Yemi OSINBAJO. Did that realize our faith? And this is not a fluke. This is real. And this is one of the attributes of any leader, to listen to his people. You are not yourself. Though today we say, yeah, it's my personal ambition, life ambition. Yeah. But here, that's why I mentioned that this is the ambition of 200 million Nigeria. One ambition of a man, an ambition of 200 million Nigeria. Which one will take premium? This is the issue.
This is the issue. Thank you very much, Mr. Ajulo, for speaking with me today. And thank you for watching. I'm Angela Ajetunmobi.